Perhaps after these last few days of play, serious play, but play nevertheless, you will have discovered that a door is not really a door. But you know, I don't want to be out of a job. So we're going to play some more in the hope that we might be invited back next year. A little Zen. There were two men lost in the forest, and as they were trying to find their way, they came across an old Zen master sitting in cross-legged position under a tree. So they approached him and they made the usual salutations, and they asked him, "Could you please direct us to the nearest town?" And the old Zen master looked at them and said, "Listen, do you hear the sound of running water?" And they said yes, that they did. The Zen master said, "Well, if you follow that sound and you find the running water, you will find that running water runs into a stream, and then a stream becomes a river. And towns are always built on river sides." So the two men were very impressed with this, and one of them thought for a moment and said to the old Zen master, "Master, is that like one of your Zen sayings, to go with the flow?" The old Zen master said, "Maybe yes, and maybe no." So this is a little poser for you. There's a story about Li Tzu. Li Tzu was a student of the great Taoist master Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, you know, was the one who created the I Ching. But before Li Tzu came into Lao Tzu's presence, he practiced the ways of the Tao. And one of those practices was to become an archer, a master of the bow and arrow. So he felt that he had reached some degree of mastership. So he wanted to show off to his archery master. So he put a glass of water on his left elbow, and he took his bow and arrow, and he shot an arrow at the target. And immediately he shot another arrow, which pierced the first arrow, the first one hitting the target, and then a third one, which passed through the other two, feeling very proud of himself. But his master was not very impressed. He said to Li Tzu, "What if we climb that mountain over there, and we go to the edge of a cliff, which is by an abyss 1,000 meters deep, would you be able to let your arrow go straight and clear to a target standing on the edge of that abyss? Li Tzu said, "Yes, Master, I can shoot an arrow straight from a horse in full gallop." So the Master said, "Come with me." So they climbed the mountain, and the Master backed up himself to the edge of the cliff, so that half his feet were over the cliff and the other half on the land. And he invited Li Tzu to come over and shoot his arrow from this. But when Li Tzu came over and he looked down into the vast void of the abyss, he started to sweat and shake. And he even got giddy, so he had to lie down on the edge. And his Master said to him, "You cannot call yourself a master until you can shoot your arrow straight and true while standing on the edge of the abyss." That means between existence and non-existence, because the void, the abyss, is the term used for that which is called non-existence. What does it mean for us to live our lives with our feet over the abyss and yet able to shoot our arrow straight and true to the target? Can I come back next year and explain it all?
Yes, please.
Thank you. But we're going to play a little more, and perhaps we'll have a taste of what it is that is being expressed in these stories. And Sylvia is going to put us through that, and this is the purpose of our mirrors.
Can I hear translation?
Yes, first, and then we'll do our yes, please.